A Streak of Blue. Alfred had been spiteful during the trial, so Sir Topham had sent Raven and Eagle to take him back to the other railway on their journey back home. Edward's coaches, Aurora, Ariel, and Anna, were glad to have their engine back. Now, 87546, the new engine, fancied himself the savior of the island of Sodor, and never failed to make it known. "Who needs them anyway?" he asked himself. "Leave them alone," huffed Thomas. "You should be happy that Raven and Eagle defended Aurora, Ariel, and Anna for Edward from Alfred." "Pah!" said 87546, and went on his way. Later, the other engines waited when 87546 dragged Henry and his train into the big station. "Fret no longer," he declared, "for I have restored over to our timetable once more." "Does he ever tire of all that hot air in his boiler?" Thomas remarked to the other engines. "I say, you little one," 87546 began to Thomas, "be a good lackey, take my coaches, and dispose away. I must rest my aching wheels." And he steamed snootily away. "Ha!" huffed Gordon. "Evidently not." "He's not very helpful for sure," added Thomas. "Much ruder than Alfred used to be." "All right, you two," said Edward. "Enough's enough. It's over. He'll learn in the future." Thomas and Gordon subsided and set to work at once. As Thomas buffered up, Henry felt rather very poor. "I'm sorry," he sighed. "He should be sorry," retorted Thomas. "He'll get his." Then Henry was uncoupled from the coaches, and Thomas helped pull them out of the station. That night, Thomas retired to the shed. A vulgar discourse greeted him. "You know, I do sympathize with Sir Topham Hatt," boasted 87546. "Wasted what little hard-earned money he had on the mite, an antiquity, and an invalid." He looked across to Henry. "I'm a real bargain. The strength of 3 for the coal and water consumption of 1. Only a matter of time before he purchases me." "Sir Topham Hatt favors engines with good character," Gordon interjected. "You have much to be desired in that department," added Edward. "And where has good character led you, replied 87546. "Certainly not the main line. Speed and strength are all that matters there. When I pull coaches, you merely see a streak of blue. Engines like you fade into the background. I'd like to see you do my work without falling to pieces." "Unlike my safety valve, I burst while pulling my express," snorted Gordon. He and the other engines glared. "Well now, a more pressing matter. When I'm purchased, what do you suppose my proper name should be? I fancy something regal. Lord Frederick Ragby has a certain charm to it, no?" Henry was just about to retort, but Thomas and Edward gave him a look. "Save your steam," muttered Thomas. "It's no use arguing with him," put in Edward. Henry did so as he went back to sleep, having heard enough. The next morning, 87546 awoke to a startling sight. There was Henry, hissing and wishing halfway on the turntable. What in the devil is this? Oh dear, groaned Henry feebly. I thought the men had made me feel better already. Well, get better out of the way, my way this instant, growled 87546. My admiring passengers are waiting. I demand restriction at once. But the other engines had all left for work. They couldn't have helped anyhow, but there was no way on to the turntable. Worse and worse, groaned Sir Topham Hatt. The passengers cannot be kept waiting. I'm sorry, Edward. As the others have gone, you will have to take the coaches. Can I take Aurora, Era, and Anna, sir? Asked Edward hopefully. No, Gordon will take them while you take the express. Gordon groaned as the passengers climbed on board Aurora, Era, and Anna. Then he pulled out of the station. Edward stared that there was a long line of coaches. Begging your pardon, sir, but this is a bit beyond my capabilities. Not if I helped you, bubbled a voice. Thomas shuffled alongside Edward. 2 engines are better than 1, sir. Besides, the others can manage their own work for a while. Sir Topham Hatt considered. Very well, he said at last. But what about your shunting duty? Maybe 87546 will take over, decided Thomas. Well, off you go then. Do your best, but take care. The engines backed excitedly onto the train. The passengers marveled at the strange combination, but were thankful to have any train at all. Finally, the conductor's whistle blew. Come on, called Thomas. Steady now, advised Edward. Soon, the 2 engines were on the main line and having a wonderful time. Thomas was so excited to leave the yards. He nearly pulled Edward's coupling off. Edward chuckled. He was glad to stretch his wheels again. Gordon was shocked as the 2 engines raced by, whistling with glee. Later, they returned to the big station, exhausted but triumphant. Henry and 87546 stood at the platform. Well, smiled Henry. Our streak of blue has returned, and in one piece no less. 87546 scowled as the happy passengers swarmed out of the coaches. What splendid little engines you are, said Sir Topham Hatt. I'm very proud of you. Thank you, sir, said Thomas. Everyone's very happy with your purchases. Everyone, that is, except for you, 87546, who will go back to the other railway right now. 87546 fumed as he sulked out of the station. You were only allowed out of the yard because clanky old Edward couldn't manage alone, he told the other engines. Enjoy your brief moment in the limelight. It's already fading. If I didn't know any better, smirked Thomas, I'd say he didn't like shunting his own train. He trotted off to the water tower, but Edward stayed behind. Are you all right, Henry? He asked. What on earth happened this morning? Just a steaming trouble, replied Henry. You know how it is. Well, miraculously, the problems of yours, I heard, seemed to vanish after you'd gone. You didn't, gasped Edward. No, Edward, grinned Henry. Don't you really think you'd do such a thing? And Henry steamed away, without saying a word.